Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Measure for Measure, and today we get to hear from Claudio in Act 3, Scene 1. Claudio is in prison, and this scene takes place in the prison as well. Yesterday we got to hear from the Duke, who was talking to Claudio about the hypocrisy of mankind, essentially, and that really the only thing that can straighten out all of these inconsistencies in human behavior is death, yet we are so horribly, horribly afraid of dying. So he's trying to get Claudio prepared to die, that sort of a thing, because Angelo has decreed that he has to die unless Isabella sleeps with him. Isabella is furious at this, doesn't want to do it. She is on her way to speak to Claudio. So after the pontificating from yesterday, Isabella shows up at the prison. She's like, I would like to talk to my brother. And the Duke says to the provost, who's sort of like the jailer or whatever, he's like, take me out of here, but let me hang out somewhere where I can hear what they're talking about. So the Duke is eavesdropping on this conversation that happens between Claudio and Isabella. And Isabella is like, I'm so sorry, you have to die tomorrow. And he's like, well, there's nothing that can be done. And she's like, well, there is this one thing, but it's really, really horrible. And it would make your life so much worse if it was done. It would condemn you. And he's like, but really, is there nothing? And she's like, it's so horrible. It's so bad. Like, I can't even say the words, and you wouldn't be able to live with yourself, and blah, blah, blah. It keeps going on and on and on, sets it up to be this horrible, horrible thing. And she finally comes out and says, if I sleep with Angelo, he might free you. Might free you. And Claudio's like, don't do it. And she's like, thank you. I knew you would understand that. Like, this is so out of the realm of things that are okay to ask. And Claudio's like, well, but he's a man of the law, so if he's asking you to do it, then he must be able to circumvent the law somehow, right? Like, he wouldn't condemn himself. And she's like, what are you saying? And he's like, well, maybe this is the least bad of the sins, and he knows a way to clear himself of it. So that could be she's like, I don't understand where you're going with this. And Claudio's like, well, yeah, but dying is really scary. And she says, so is leading a ruined, tainted, sinful life. And Claudio replies, aye, but to die and go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction and to rot, this sensible warm motion to become a needed clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in thrilling region of thick-ribbed ice, to be imprisoned in the viewless winds and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world, or to be worse than worst of those that lawless and uncertain thought imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death. So he's sort of going through the list of all the things that people think might happen when you die. Like, either your body just sits there and rots, or you could end up in hell, or you could end up in purgatory, or you could end up a ghost. Like, there's all these horrible, horrible things that could happen to you when you die, and we don't know what they are. And it's akin to Hamlet's to be or not to be speech. This makes us rather bear the ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Claudio is saying that anything that happens in life, any horrible thing that happens in life, is at least better than being dead. And Isabella is like, but what are you asking of me? And he says, please do it. Please sleep with Angelo and save my life, because I'm scared to die. And she has some thoughts on that, which we get to hear tomorrow. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.